Just as fulfilling a hobby car, house or woman brings peace to a person's mind, in some cases, the hobby destroys a person little by little. Similarly, in today's movie, a boy buys a car out of passion, but it was not an ordinary car, but rather a mysterious psycho was hidden inside the hobby car. So let's go to the main story and slowly learn about the secret psycho character of this mysterious car. The movie begins in 1950. A car was being manufactured inside a car factory, but there was a special red car that a mechanic was working on when he was checking the engine when the hood of the car closed on its own and he got a very bad injury on his hand. He was rushed to the doctor and then another mechanic came to check the car. When he entered the car, the cigarette fell from his hand onto the car seat. After a few hours passed and everyone was returning to their respective homes, then the supervisor noticed that the lights of the red car were still on, so whenever he opened the car, the body of the mechanic who had been smoking a cigarette fell out. Almost 28 years have passed since this incident. We see a student named Danish who goes to the house of a classmate named Annie. Annie was a very simple and studious boy. Danish and Annie were quite different from each other, but still a beautiful friendship developed between them. Today was their first day of school. They reached school and took out new books from their lockers, and that's when they saw a student named Leah. Because Leah was so beautiful, almost all the boys had a crush on her. When Annie finished school, Danish was returning home when Annie saw a red car in front of a house. Annie asked Danish to stop the car and they both went to the car. Annie saw that it was a red classic car. It was actually the same car that we saw at the factory at the beginning of the movie. It was in a very bad condition, but Annie liked the car very much and got into the car. Then the owner of the car, George, came there and told them that the car was called Christine. It was actually his brother's car, but he had been driving it for a while. He blamed this car for his brother's death and now George wants to get rid of it, so he is ready to sell it for only $150. Danish forbids Annie from wasting money on such a broken car and tells her to add more money to buy a new car, but Annie ignores him and buys the car right away. Then in the evening, when Annie comes home, her parents scold her a lot for buying such a car, but Annie doesn't care, she is using her own savings. Annie bought the car with money. Annie's mother made it clear to her that she would not let them keep the car in their house. So Annie took Christine to a garage where she met Will, the garage owner. Will was a very annoying and rude person, but he still allowed Annie to keep the car in his garage. On the way back, Dennis asked Annie why she suddenly bought such a cheap car with such peeling paint. Annie said that she didn't like the car, but the car liked her. The next day, at school, Dennis was waiting for Annie during lunch. But after a while, Annie didn't come, so Annie went out and saw a boy named Baddie who was bothering Annie a lot. When Dennis tried to stop him, Baddie threw down Annie's lunch and pushed Annie away. When Annie took off her glasses and fell far away, Baddie stepped on them and broke them. Dennis took advantage of the opportunity and attacked Baddie. Then some people with Baddie attacked Danish. Then a teacher came and stopped their fight. Annie called him Baddie a knife. The teacher threatened him with a knife. When he asked him to check Baddie's pocket, the knife came out of his pocket. The teacher got angry and called Baddie and his friends to the office. The teacher filed a complaint against them and expelled Baddie from the school. After a few weeks, Annie worked hard day and night to fix her car. Seeing this, the garage owner offered her a job to look after the car, and in return, Annie could arrange some new parts for his car. Annie thought that the offer was not bad, but also profitable for her. And she agrees to this offer. From then on, Annie starts getting up to fix the car, and as she goes on like this, Annie doesn't realize how much she has become addicted to Christine. Then, Dennis goes to meet Annie because they haven't seen each other for a while. But when he meets Annie, he notices some changes in Annie. Annie has become much smarter now. She is now wearing stylish clothes without glasses and doesn't even talk to Dennis for a long time, but instead works in the garage. Annie's mother tries to stop her but she can't be stopped. Annie's mother tells Danish that she is very worried about Annie's new car because she has learned that the previous owner of the car died of suffocation inside the car. Hearing this, Danish goes to meet George. George tells him that when his brother saw this car, he also went crazy for this car. His wife and children lost their lives because of this car and his brother also died. After George's brother died, this car came to George's house alone. Danish became even more nervous. He went to the garage to check the car in the evening. When he tried to open the car, the radio inside the car turned on by itself. Danish was scared and ran away from there. The next day, Danish went to his school's stadium to participate in a football match. He was thinking about scoring a goal today, and at that time, Annie arrived there with Christine. All their other friends were very surprised to see Christine because Christine looked brand new. Leah and Annie got out of the car and everyone was surprised to see the work of the two of them. But seeing this, Danish became a little jealous and his attention was diverted from the game. At that moment, one of the opposing team pushed him and took the ball. Due to the strong push, Danish was badly injured and fainted there. A few days later, when Danish regained consciousness, he found himself in a hospital. Annie came to visit him. Danish noticed that his friend Annie had changed a lot, but Annie quickly said goodbye to Danish and left the hospital. Then in the evening, Annie and Leah they go to the theater together to watch a movie. After the movie ends, they try to get intimate in the car. Suddenly, Christine's windshield breaks down. Annie gets out to check it. Leah is sitting inside and she is eating something. Suddenly, the radio in the car turns on and a lot of light comes from the dashboard and hits Leah's face. Leah feels like she can't breathe at all. Annie sees Leah's condition from outside and wants to help her, but she won't open the lock. She tries to open the car door from outside but nothing works. Leah was almost suffocating inside, but at the last moment she managed to open the car door from the inside. Suddenly, a man came and dragged her out of the car in any way he could. Annie got angry and started beating him. In fact, he was trying to get the food stuck in Leah's throat out. However, the situation was finally brought under control and Annie brought Leah to her house. Leah got out of the car and went straight to the house and told Annie that she didn't want to talk to her anymore. Annie tried to convince her and apologized to her. But Leah understood that this car wanted to kill her, but she also felt that Christine was jealous of her because whenever they sat in the car to spend time alone, they had to face some kind of problem. Then Annie sat in the car but the car was not starting. Then she told Christine that whatever happened with Leah today did not matter to her, she would always love Christine as before, and then when she tried to start the car started running immediately. Then Annie went to the garage and left Christine in the garage and went straight home. After Annie left, soon after, Buddy and his gang arrive, each with a large hammer, which they use to break Christine at will. At one point, they almost destroy Christine. The next day, Annie meets Leah and apologizes for the incident the night before. She convinces Leah to bring her to the garage. But when she arrives at the garage, Annie is shocked to see Christine in such a devastated state. Leah wants to know how this happened, but Annie suddenly gets very angry and starts yelling at Leah. She thinks Leah did this. Leah gets scared and leaves. Later, Annie told her mother the whole story. Annie's father told her to calm down and wanted to buy her a new car, but Annie refused and started blaming her parents for Christine's situation because if they had allowed her to keep the car at home, Christine would have been fine. Annie tried to talk her parents into doing different things. Seeing Annie's bad behavior, her father started beating her and Annie then attacked her father, which made her father completely silent about her son's behavior. She is hurt enough. Annie goes to the broken Christine again. She decides to make Christine new again. But this time, what she sees is that Christine has completely healed herself by some invisible force. She asks Christine what else she can do. Christine is back to her old self in a few moments. Then we see a boy named Mochi in the middle of the night, and he also broke Christine that day. He actually came to rob her in the middle of the night. He stops a truck and sees a gun and demands money. He was doing it, and then he heard the loud sound of the car engine, so he went a little further and saw Christine standing there. He was very surprised to see Christine completely new. Seeing Christine here, he thought that Annie must be inside the car, and he knew that she had also vandalized Christine that day with bad, and now he was alone, so he got scared and went to the front of the car and started apologizing. But when he saw that there was no one inside, then Christine's headlights came on and started moving at high speed and started moving towards the cobbler. The cobbler got scared and started running. He entered an alley next to the road and thought that this time the car would not be able to catch him. He came out after a while. The cobbler thought that Christine might have left, but as soon as he came out, Christine chased him. This time the cobbler entered a warehouse and Christine followed him, but the cobbler got stuck in a place where Christine surrounded him. The cobbler took out a knife and threatened him, but Christine used her strength to get inside and crushed the cobbler to death. The next morning, Annie goes to see Danish. Danish is devastated by the news of the cobbler's death and wonders how Christine got better on her own if she was so completely destroyed. Annie ignores Dennis and quietly leaves the hospital. When Annie leaves the hospital, she is met by Detective Janine. Janine tells her that she is here to find the thugs who attacked Christine and to investigate the cobbler's death. Annie tells him that she knows nothing about the cobbler's death, but seeing some of Annie's behavior, Janine becomes suspicious of her and then tells Annie that she heard from Annie's girlfriend that Christine was completely destroyed, but Annie leaves without answering the question. She goes home and calls Leah to meet her, but Leah doesn't want to come there, which makes Annie even angrier. On the other hand, Buddy and his friend Don are driving drunk. In the middle of the road, another car starts following them. Buddy stops the car and tries to see who is behind them, but the headlights are on. He can't see anything in the extra light. Then when he reverses the car also starts to reverse. We realize that this car is not any other car, but Christine. Buddy gets angry and stops the car at a gas station where a friend of his named Richie is working. Buddy gets out of the car and grabs an iron rod to attack Christine, but then Christine comes at a high speed and crashes into Buddy's car. This time Buddy's car is also badly damaged. Buddy thought Annie was inside the car, so he asked her to come out, but Christine drove Buddy's car even faster and drove it straight into the workshop. Don was sitting inside Buddy's car, and Christine threw him and him right behind him. Then Buddy's car leaked petrol and immediately caught fire. But within some time, the fire spread to the gas station and there was a terrible explosion. Since Rissy was inside the station, she also died in the blast. Seeing this, Buddy ran for his life, but the burning Christina followed him. And he kills the Buddy there. After some time, Christine returns to Will's garage. There was smoke coming out of Christine. She is a little nervous because at that time Annie went to fix another car. So Will goes to see who was actually inside the car with a gun in his hand. But when he opens the door, he doesn't see anyone inside. Will doesn't understand what is really happening. Then he gets in the car himself. And a little later, he realizes what a big mistake he made because Christine swore today that she wouldn't let anyone in and blocked that door, and the seat was on the dashboard. He kills Will by pushing him there. The next morning, Annie arrives at the garage and sees several police cars there. She meets Detective Janine. She tells Janine that Christine found the body of the garage owner, Will, inside. Annie says she doesn't really know how this happened, but her mind tells her that Christine has some invisible force behind everything. When Dennis is released from the hospital, Leah calls him and the two meet. Leah tells Danish that Christine has completely diverted Annie to herself. Annie is weak towards Christine. It's all over and she's doing all sorts of strange things. Danish says, "I believe Annie won't do anything wrong on her own, but if Christine convinces her, then Christine will have to be destroyed quickly." Then Leah returns home, but after some time, Annie comes there with Christine. She wants to take Danish with her for a drive, and Danish agrees. Annie was acting a little strange from the beginning, but Dennis doesn't care much about it. After a while, Annie suddenly starts driving very fast and she lets go of the steering wheel. Seeing this, Dennis, he was very nervous, but Annie kept saying that Christine was not in her control. Then Annie said very strangely that no one could come between me and Christine. She had a lot of trust in Christine. She said that Christine would not do anything to us. And while trying to prove this to Danish, she drove her car into the opposite lane at high speed. Dennis was very scared to see such madness from her friend. The next morning, Dennis wrote a note to Christine asking Annie to meet him in the garage in the evening. In the evening, Danish and Leah met in the garage. They were waiting for Annie, but Annie hadn't come yet, so the two of them got into an excavator and brought it inside the workshop. They decided today that Leah would stay in the office, and as soon as Annie arrived, she would close the workshop gate and use that opportunity to destroy Christine with the Danish bulldozer. So Leah went to the office as planned, but she didn't know that Christine was hiding inside the workshop. Leah was heading towards the office and Christine came out and chased her. Leah ran and jumped and grabbed a tire and climbed up. Somehow, Christine escaped from her hands, but Christine refused to give up and was ready to attack Leah again. Danish pushed the bulldozer forward from Leah so that Christine could not harm her. Then Christine went to the back and went to another corner of the workshop, and Danish took the bulldozer in the opposite direction. Now Christine and Danish's bulldozer stood face to face, and here it was known that Christine was not alone today. Annie was also inside. Annie was completely in control of the car. Christine turned on the headlights herself, and in a few moments it was completely new again. Meanwhile, Danish's bulldozer suddenly stopped working. Danish was trying to fix it. On the other hand, Christine targeted Leah to finish her off. Christine broke everything to kill Leah. But Christine broke Annie's windshield and she fell out, and large pieces of the windshield entered Annie's body. When Leah came a little closer to see Annie, Annie suddenly hugged Leah and let her go. Leah was very scared and Annie died there. The moment before her death, Annie saw her beloved car. She tried to touch it one last time, but that car took her life today. Then Leah started running away from there, but Christine started the reverse gear to take revenge and chased Leah again, but at the last moment Leah saved herself and Christine got stuck in a pillar. Danish had fixed the bulldozer by now and took this opportunity to run the bulldozer over Christine. Christine was still fighting, but Danish attacked her with one bulldozer after another, which reduced Christine's strength a little. She did something. It takes time to re-strengthen herself. Meanwhile, Leah is sitting on the bulldozer. Now they are ready to completely destroy Christine. Danish now crushes Christine with the bulldozer very forcefully. Finally, a reckless psycho completely destroys the car. Then we see the next day, Leah and Danish are standing with Detective Jane. After destroying Christine, the car has become garbage, but at the last moment we see a small part of Christine moving, which means Christine is still awake. However, Christine will return again in the form of another car or under another name, and this is where this movie ends. So, please comment and let me know how you liked the video. Also, those who are watching my first video on my channel today, or those who are watching videos regularly but have not subscribed yet, I request you to subscribe and stay by my side. Everyone, stay well and stay healthy. We will talk in the next video.